The tried and tested scaffolding kit, Peri Up, is the basis for innovative and economical scaffold solutions worldwide. The modular version Rosette, in particular, opens up new areas of scaffold work. A noticeable example, the Lattice Girder system LGS. LGS is used where high loads have to be carried and large spans bridged. For example, with temporary pedestrian bridges, working platforms, and protection roofs with varying geometric shapes. A few well-thought-out components and connections safely transfer the loads to the supporting structure. LGS consists of individual girders that are connected together to form long girders. They become load-bearing units by stiffening with Peri-Up ledgers and diagonal braces. The grid sizes and positioning of rosettes allows the LGS girders to integrate completely with the Peri-Up system. The assembly can be off-site when there is limited space on the construction site. The units that are pre-assembled on the ground without a crane are later lifted to their final positions. Pedestrian bridges demand the shortest erection times to limit disruption to the traffic flow. According to the use, there are also high loads to be considered. Platforms are often erected and almost always dismantled without a crane. The LGS lattice girder system proves its geometric flexibility inside buildings, both for the erection and the later use. Weather protection roofs ensure the unimpeded use of the building during ongoing restoration work. Weather protection roofs offer a very efficient addition to the building process, in particular when they are mobile. Wind forces, such as may occur in storms, must be reliably transferred. The Peri LGS girders have so much reserve loading capacity that additional loads can also be carried, for example from a travelling crane. For the basic assembly of the LGS girders, the individual components are first laid out on the ground. To create various lengths, there are two girder lengths available, 3 meters and 1 meter 50. Each individual bay is lifted and then joined with Peri-Up ledgers and diagonal braces. Erection safety is ensured when the ledgers are inserted. The girders are stiffened with vertical and horizontal diagonal braces. One or two bolts provide a tight connection of the girder units according to the planned loading of the girder. Alternatively, they can be pinned. A hammer blow activates the full node rigidity. Ridge frames are fitted on the assembled set of girders to give a double-pitched weather protection roof. Local jacking makes it easier to connect. Ridge bars, which later determine the final shape of the roof, are fitted to the ridge frames. The Girder rails are fitted before the girders are lifted with the crane. Rollers fitted to the ends of the girders prevent damage to the ground and the material during erection. The ridge bars are now fixed to the raised set of girders, giving the final shape of the roof. Aluminium rails are assembled on a Peri up scaffold as roof supports and for traversing the roof to various working positions. Roof ledgers distribute the loads equally to the inner and outer legs of the scaffold. The arrangement of holes in the roof ledger and the rail fixation enable the rails to be ideally positioned. The LGS wheel can be seen transversely, from the static point of view, as a movable bearing. Longitudinally, it allows easy manual movement of large roof areas in the shortest possible time. The roof ledger, in combination with the roof ledger to support fixing, allows horizontal and slightly inclined constructions. The 0-degree bearing serves to support the lattice girder at any point, and thus enables adjustment to given spaces. These valuable paintings are in the dome of the Karlskirche in Vienna. They are to radiate their old brilliance again through restoration, a cultural, historical and technical challenge. The successful Peri up solution was a wide-span construction supported on only 2 slim towers that maintain the optical expanse of the inside of the church. From a platform serving as a visitor's gallery, there is another public access going up to the so-called lantern 57 meters high. Church activities were left undisturbed through an exactly maintained time schedule even during the erection work. The LGS girders were quickly and safely assembled into beams on the floor. Chain hoists then took them to their destinations high up in the dome. At the top of the supporting towers, the girders can be moved sideways and fixed on the roof ledger to support fixing. System decks initially assisted the further erection. The upper stairway tower was erected directly on the LGS girders. A high-quality timber covering and a specially designed railing gave the visitors' gallery the fitting optical atmosphere for the inside of the church. Thanks to the geometry of girders and support components of the system, there was an even connection between the lower stair tower and the gallery. The visitors' gallery was designed so that apart from taking the loads of the working scaffolds to the left and right, it could also carry the whole load of the upper stair tower in the middle. Because of increased visitor demand, the load-carrying capacity of the gallery was improved to 60 persons by strengthening the underside of the beams. Next to the visitors' gallery was the working platform of the restorers. It was constructed by cantilevering of the beams, with peri-up rosette scaffolding and hung on special wall brackets, completely free of supports. A special experience was the trip by lift to the visitors' gallery. The path to the world of church artistry was created through the most modern scaffolding techniques. Up there, the visitors had the rare opportunity of seeing the dome paintings immediately in front of them. In this way, the restoration work in the Karlskirche was made into a real-life attraction with the help of the Peri LGS Lattice Girder system. The entry fee made it possible to finance the maintenance of the cultural treasures. New underground railway station in Copenhagen. Working independent of the weather through Peri LGS girders. As a roof construction, they protect the excavation work and the department store connected to the underground railway station. The weather protection roof was fixed to the building. Public pedestrian traffic was led over the bridge of Peri-up scaffolding components fixed to the LGS girders, unaffected by the excavations below. A crane track on the LGS girders provided materials and plant to the construction workers in the pit excavation. "4,000 people live on this housing estate. The flat roofs of their houses had to be restored. The specification for the work was unrestricted use of the dwellings and the traffic routes. The solution? Peri-up weather protection roofs. Altogether, 5 mobile roofs, each of about 1,000 square meters in area, were erected on Peri-up scaffolds. Each building was approximately 100 meters in length, with only one central entrance. This is why all logistics had to be considered with the scaffolding and the weather protection roof. Lateral transport above the buildings was made with crane tracks integrated into the roof construction. A rail system was installed in the scaffolding for longitudinal transport. Materials were delivered and taken away by hand on track-mounted pallets. A crane bridge was erected on every one of the terrace-shaped buildings in the area of the central entrances for vertical transport. Trucks could be loaded and unloaded directly by these. Three years were needed to restore all of the buildings. No problem for the housing estate residents, who experienced no change in their quality of life during this time. After finishing a block, the weather protection roof was moved to the next. Every other ledger and tarpaulin section was simply removed to divide the roof into units for crane transport. The capacity of the largest possible mobile crane that could travel through the entrances was allowed for in planning the movements. The LGS Lattice Girder system proved to be ideal. Low weight with large roof spans, and its ease of erection led to extremely short movement times. Moving to new support conditions also progressed at speed and without complication. Smooth travelling on the rail tracks made the connections of the weather protection roofs very easy. Large units could be moved easily into position by hand. As soon as the tarpaulins were drawn over the fitted ledgers, the LGS weather protection roof was ready in its new location. Simple erection, high loads, large spans. The Peri LGS Lattice Girder system.